This is how we roll. It's the Slating Rink. Building our bankroll. Thanks to the Slating Rink. Breaking down chalk, the way the golfers gawk. Join Chad every week with his DFS talk. He's turning game stacks into lots and lots of racks. And once you tune in, you will not go back. This is how we roll.
Welcome in to the Slating Rink. I am your host, Chad Rink. So, Tuesday, March 31st, it is Ron Swanson meeting day for all you fans of Parks and Rec. So, he's joining us today here in front. Let's hit this slate. So, there's two slates on it. You've got probably the early slate, which I do like those games a lot, with the Nationals, Phillies, Pirates, Reds, Tigers, Orioles. I think that's an interesting slate. I may play it. I'm not going to discuss it today. I'm going to go for the main slate on DK, starting at the 7:07 games. So we did profit yesterday. The pitching was there. We had, we talked about it. We had Cabrera, Elder, were the two I went with, and then McClanahan also pitched what I believe he was the top pitcher on the slate. So we hit the starting pitching that we talked about yesterday. Just the bats weren't there. Milwaukee only scored 2 runs. Luckily, we had Contreras, which helped. And they were cold. I don't know what Nick Martinez was doing. I guess the second coming of Nolan Ryan. And then you had the Mets did okay. It just didn't get there. Were the two that I had. The Padres, I wouldn't have hit there either. So, we doubled our money on a single entry, $5. So I'll take that. Anytime we're gonna make money, I will take that. So we did have the pitching. So let's kind of look at the slate here for this evening's game. So what we got starting pitching. I do like Hunter Brown a lot. He is 9,700, most expensive pitcher on the slate. Boston strikes out a ton. I don't think I'm going to get to there because I do like some more expensive bats. So there are some good pitchers. You've got Ohtani against the Indians, Woodruff against the Blue Jays. Gilbert against the Yankees could be a little scary with that lineup, especially at 9,500. I do like Max Fried against those Mariners at 8,800. I think is a good price for him. He looked great his first outing out. The ones I do like, McClanahan going up against Milwaukee. I just don't know how long of a leash they're going to have McClanahan. He has dealt with injuries in the past, so they may limit him on his innings, what he can do. I do like Senga at 7,400. I think he'll get, if he's not walking guys like he is known to do, I think he's the one play like at 7,400. And then it's between McClanahan and Fried would be the next one. I mean, Scherzer is all right against the Rockies. Again, I don't know how long he's going to go. He's just not the same Max Scherzer as he was in his heyday. So I think I'm going to hold off on that last spot to see. I guess you could do this Jose Suarez. Oakland Oakland's not good. We targeted them yesterday. It's just Suarez has not. He was more of a reliever, so I don't know again how many innings he's going to get. So I'd rather pay up, take a chance with McClanahan or with Fried. I'm going to throw McClanahan in there to save $500, and then we'll kind of go from there. So the three team stacks that I do like with this slate, I do like Toronto. I like the Mets again. if the rain holds off there, it looks like. And I do like Detroit in Arizona against Brandon Pfaadt. Those are three that I do like, and I'm probably just going to focus on those three in this video. You could talk me into some other ones. There's some good weather all across the games today. So, catch, I'm not in love with a lot of the catchers on any of these teams. So I'm gonna hope for that. If I really like the Tigers to build around because they're a lot cheaper. If I go Torkelson at first, I like putting Polanco's for the Mets. I do like Polanco at second. He could also play first, but Torkelson is there. And in the outfield, I like Carpenter at 4,300, and then I don't mind Riley Green, but there are a couple guys I do like out here. So I think I'm going to go Jesus Sanchez. And then with third and short, you do have Keith and McGonigal. You can go short and third with both of them if you want to do a full on, like you get a 4-man Tiger stack. So if you put Keith at third, McGonigal at short, you're having 5,600 left, which I like because then you could throw Soto in there. And then you've got 5,000 remaining, which you could pretty much get any catcher that you want. So there's not really one team or game that you're just really loading up on. That gives you 4 Tigers, 2 Mets, and a Blue Jay. And you can get any other catcher you want besides Cal Raleigh there. So again, Kirk is an option if you want to add another Toronto guy. If you wanted to throw Dingler in, you could throw Dingler in for Detroit to put a full-on stack there. Also, if you decided to, not go with, let's say, McGonigal, Keith, you just wanted to throw in like have the Tigers as a secondary stack and just go full on with the Mets, I don't mind that either. So then if you're doing that, you're definitely going to be going Bichette at third, and you're going to go Lindor at short. You got Soto there. That leaves you 2,600 at catcher. And so I don't know if I would take another Met there. I probably would just try to get a cheap catcher and plug that in a game that I would kind of like if you wanted to go opposite. You could throw in Heineman for Toronto. If there's another catch you just like in a matchup with the batter pitcher, that kind of thing. So if you're going with the Mets, it's going to be a little bit more expensive because Soto's 6,300, Lindor's 52, and Bichette is 48. I do like Polanco with whatever lineup you go with. If you did want to go with a more full-on Tiger stack, which is where I'm going to go, I don't mind putting Riley Green out there. And if we go back third and short, going with Keith or McGonigal. If you wanted to go Toronto as well, I don't mind it either. Barger at third, if you wanted to do that. And then you've got Jimenez. You could play at short catcher. I don't mind Kirk at 3,900 is a good price there. And then maybe do a Toronto. You got Toronto 3-man, Detroit 3-man, and then at short you would have 6,600. So you could pretty much have whoever you want. If you wanted to throw in Lindor or Bichette, you could do that. I would probably do that or do one of those. So I probably would go Lindor. So you're doing a 3-man Toronto, 3-man Detroit, 2 Mets. That's probably my favorite build because I don't know if one of these teams is just going to go off for 7, 8, 9 runs, but I do like all 3 of them. It's just going to be difficult to get the Mets in unless you're spending down like with Senga. if I decided to not go with McClanahan, let's say I went it up, I did spend up for Brown. I could get Brown in this lineup with Senga, with these guys, and it would make it. I kind of like that. I do like Hunter Brown in tonight against the Red Sox. Although the Red Sox could tee off on him, that's the only issue that I have with that. So that's kind of that's really what I was looking at. Just that those are the three teams I really, really like. Again, you can talk me into a lot of them with the pitching on here. Like, I don't mind Atlanta going up against Aaron Savale is not a bad way to go. I would stay away from the Brewers-Rays game with McClanahan, Woodruff on the mound. I like both those pitchers. I don't think that's going to be a high-scoring game. Again, I like the Mets. If you wanted to go, like, you could go let's look at it. If you decide, like, if Hunter Brown's going to be really popular and you decide, you know what, I'm not going to go Hunter Brown. Let's say you wanted to go Max Fried, and then let's say you still wanted to do a little bit of the Mets, right? You still want to stay in that sec, but you could also, let's just actually, if you just want to, and if you want to go against Hunter Brown and you want to just go, hey, I think Boston can get to him. A Boston stack is probably not going to be very popular. And if you went like Anthony, and if you want to go Abreu or Duran, there, you've got Contreras at first, which I like. Keep him out of the catcher spot. Durbin is a guy. Story could be another one. I don't know if I like this build, but that could be a way if you really want to get contrarian, because the Red Sox can score. It's just going up against the most expensive pitcher. But well, that's just a way to get different. You could also look at, if you want to do a Yankee stack, I don't know how feasible that's going to be. You would want Judge in that. And then I always like Ryan McMahon from the left side. You've got Chisholm also, who's not overly expensive. You want to go Rice and Wells. You just want to put a bunch of lefties up against Gilbert. You could do that. That would give you 5. You do a full-on Yankee. If you do a full-on Yankee stack with Fried and Senga, it still gives you 4,400 remaining, which that's kind of nice. Like, if you went, you could kind of go anywhere really. If you wanted to, because it is Ron Swanson meeting day, if you want to go Ronald Acuna Jr. in the outfield, and then Dabney Swanson, to have Ron Swanson in your lineup, still gives you 4,000 left. And I do like Barger, in there. If you want to throw Bellinger in instead of somebody like Wells, you could do that. You go kind of anywhere you want with that. If you just want to have a little fun with it being Ron Swanson Day. I do like Jesus Sanchez. That's one that I do like in there. So, and if you decided you wanted to spend up on pitching, you can do that. Obviously, you're not going to be able to get a lot of these Yankees in, but like Toronto would be a one to, I think you could do. Vlad's at 6. He's going to be a little bit more expensive. But if we go back to our Detroit, Toronto, and the Mets with spending up at pitching, it gives us 4,000 with Sanchez in there, 4,000 per position. And you can find some underpriced guys with this lineup. I mean, Carpenter's only 4,300. I do like him. If you want to throw Varsho in at 45, because I don't think you'll be able to get up to Juan Soto. I like Torkelson at Torkelson at 42, and then Polanco 37. You're still at 3,800 a player, and you got catcher, third, and short. Third base going Barger, and then you've got shortstop. I mean, you can go wherever you want. You got 3,800, and then catcher. So that gives you 3 Toronto guys, 2 Detroit, and a Met. Can you get Lindor in there? It would be tight to get Lindor because then you're talking a catcher. And so you would have to just cheap at catcher, which I don't mind if you just got to spend down in one position. You could go Ascara if he starts. You just have to kind of watch and see who's going to start on some of these teams. But that's what you do. I don't mind spending up at pitcher. I just don't know if you're going to be able to get to some of these more expensive guys. So I think it would end up being more of a Toronto, Detroit kind of build. Again, which I don't mind doing that. So you would do McGonigal would be probably the one at short, and then at 3,700. At 3,700, you can kind of get pretty much any catcher that you would like. You couldn't get Kirk in there, but if you want to do Alvarez to throw in another Met, you could do that as well, or Dingler if you want to throw Dingler in if you really like that. That might be a build too. Go just spend up. This might be one to spend up on pitchers, but I do like Senga and his matchup. So kind of play around with that, see what you're going to do with that. But yeah, there's a lot of different options, a lot of game environments I like. And I don't mind spending up for pitcher today just because I think the options are pretty limited once you get past like Fried. Because McClanahan has some issues. You're not sure. I don't mind Woodruff either. So I think that might be my play now going through this as an exercise. I think I might pay up on pitcher. But Senga is an option if you really like especially if you really like the Mets bats and you want to put Lindor, Soto in there, or if you're looking to another one, if you want to just go a New York stack with the Yankees or something, Senga's an option to relieve some of that salary in pitching. So not sure how I'm going to go. I just do like the Tigers tonight. I'm not a big Brandon Pfaadt believer. So, and then again, Toronto, I think those are the two that if I'm going to build a 4 or 5 man stack, it's going to be one of those two teams and then just fill in the rest with any of those other teams. Like, again, I do like a lot of games here. Like I said, the Brewers and the Rays are one I probably am going to stay away from. Looks like there's going to be weather in LA. But I don't mind having like a late night guy. So I may have, although the Tigers are playing at 9:40, so that'll be the late stack. So Tigers, Toronto's probably where I'm going to go. And then I don't mind the Braves because I don't think Aaron Savale is that good either. Again, until we start seeing how some of these ballparks play, seeing how these pitchers are doing this year, it's just going to be kind of like a wait and see kind of deal. Although I'm telling you, I do like that 640. Do they have a 640? Do they have an early slate of games in the lobby? Because that would be interesting. Because I do like the games that are on there. I don't like the showdown slate, classic. No, that doesn't look like I see any of like an early slate, at least on here. They may have one in there. I usually do this on my phone, so it may be a little bit easier when I look at that later. But I do like that the early slate has some pretty good matchups, some good games, not very good pitchers. So, hey, that's it for the slating rink. Go ahead. Hopefully be as profitable, maybe more profitable than we were yesterday. Again, we did double our entry on the single entry $5 play. So if I double it every day, that's fine. I enjoy that, but I do like the single entry plays. So I will probably post my lineups. I'm going to start doing on the X at Chad Ochorinco, also on Instagram at Rink NATO. You can check this show out along with my Chadlock's betting show, March Chadness. We talk about college basketball, and then we do a bracket every week. The Chuck Norris Facts bracket was out earlier this week, so check that out. Check out all our other March Chadness shows. Go check out any Ohio State content you want. Check out Dallas, Tampa, Carolina's coming. So just a lot of information, a lot of sports content on fanstreamsports.com. So go check that out. Hey, thanks for checking out the Slating Rink. Hope your lineups hit the right stack, get those pitchers. And that is it for Ron Swanson meeting day. So I now return you all back to a forward all slate.
It's the Slating Rink. Building our bankroll. Thanks to the Slating Rink.